There we go.
Yep. So what I'm trying to do actually is I'm trying to involve all the other characters, and I want to give them all a heads up so that if they want to react before Jaldar just blows everything the shit up, right? So what I imagine is I'm going to call Crix and I'm going to tell him, hey, I'm about to take a hit out on the Hutts. We've got a mutual enemy, and I'm going to hit him. And then I'm going to call up Skara and say, Skara, I need you to gather your crew. I know you got a lot of people. We were hit really hard. You need to make sure you have some weapons so we can go hit the Hutts. And then I'm going to call up Etima and I'm going to say, Etima, some shit's going down. Make sure that you stay wary of the Hutt people. And then I want to see what the other characters want to do in this situation.
Cool. I like that. I do think that, like, in this sort of fluid time that we're talking about, like by the time you track down Skara, it will be after however she's doing, whatever plan she's got in place. And it will certainly, I think Etima's the one out of the other player characters who's most at a loose end, right? Without any kind of current tasks sort of stuff. Crix, you've been away from your vehicle. You've got missed calls from Tuk Tuk while you were getting drunk, right? And when you get back to your apartment, Batty is leaning against the door. No, in fact, the door is open, right? And you come in, like, I imagine, like blaster drawn, right? Like careful. And then just sat there with the feet up on the table is Batty. And she's like, I got tired of waiting, Hera.
Well, all you needed to do was say something. And drunkenly, I'm just still coming from the bar.
Yeah.
I start to undo the top button of my shirt, the second button of my shirt, the third button of my shirt, just to see what her general reaction is, because clearly I've misread the situation.
And she laughs and she says, I don't take payment that way, Hera. I'm interested in making money.
Okay. We've spoken a couple hours ago. It takes a little bit longer.
A couple of hours ago?
Wow.
You look down at your thing and time has gotten away from you here.
Well, okay, more than a few hours ago, but it takes more than a day. And I point around and go, that explains my opulent lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a real craft hole. And I would like you to roll your infiltration thing now.
13.
13. Nice. She says, listen, you were supposed to relieve me and the little guy. You were supposed to come back. And you didn't. But luckily, we were doing our jobs while you were keeping us in the dark. Tuk Tuk got some interesting comms. Turns out there's a big black sun's moving some large sum of money around. Some large sum of money that's going to somebody in the security forces. The cartel knows. And they've got a hitman out. Some droid. Real assassin model. IG-90 series. Z36.
Who are they assassinating?
I don't know. Whoever's the bagman. They want that money. They want to make sure that we don't pay whoever that our bosses are still looking hard at Black Sun rather than anywhere else.
That's good.
I managed to convince Tuk Tuk not to tell anyone about it.
Well, you've got a better relationship with him than me. He just kind of tends to do whatever he wants to do, but he can be useful.
Oh yeah, real useful.
So
I'm waiting to see whether you can be Crix.
Saved your life.
Yeah.
Pretty good week so far. Yeah. So relax, calm down. Doesn't happen overnight, but it'll happen.
And that's when our eyes lock on the that briefcase that you've been carrying since the bar. And you can see that the 2 and 2 is starting to add up in her head about what she's learned and what she's. She says, whoever the bagman is going to need backup.
Yeah. I agree.
So
And
what do
that
you-
person's going to need some people that he can trust.
Yeah. Well, I owe you.
Well,
Do you want to get the truth out of her?
yeah. Let's try to get the truth out of her.
It's a shame that you're on 0 stress, because you automatically get stress back from a hit on get the truth.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah. You know what? She is. I'm going to take that hard move, and I'm going to try and put it on my shelf.
Mhm.
But she is. I'm going to try and do a lull and put it on my hard move shelf, and I'll probably forget about it entirely. Yeah, Batty makes it very clear to you. She pulls out her blaster, right? And you can see that it's a heavy model, like a really beefy one, you know. And she flips it, puts it down on the table, and then just says, "I've got your back, Hera. You got mine?"
Yeah. Now the question is, can we trust Tuk Tuk?
All we got to do is make sure that Tuk Tuk keeps his whistle wet.
Okay. And I open up the briefcase and I go, let's figure out how much this is for before we figure out what we're going to do with it.
Oh, nice. And this is a substantial sum of money, you know. This is a big sum of money.
Is it enough for 3 people to comfortably retire?
No, I don't think it is enough. It is enough for one person to move their lifestyle up a chunk.
Okay. And I go, now, what this leads me to understand right now is ISB is crooked. So
Welcome to the Empire, Hera.
that also means that everybody else involved is crooked. I'm being expected to drop this off and deliver it. I might do that. I might not. But I guess we have to figure out what's our best play here. And I look at Batty and I go, let's think this through a little bit. Got any ideas?
You got any friends who can get off-world passage?
I
I hear guns are coming down they're coming from somewhere off-world. Coming through 8 lives, from what I understand.
So, okay. Yeah, I know somebody that could probably get us off-world passage. However, that person that could get us off-world passage probably inclined for me to deliver this package, at least as it is right now.
Well, maybe we just skim a bit off the top.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily in a skimming mood.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a taking mood.
Well, maybe she cracks in, of course. Whoever it is, sure we can be persuasive together.
I've been learning a lot of lessons from Jaldar lately. When in doubt, everything can go all to hell in a moment's notice.
You got a name, Tara? I could dig something up. Blackmail's better than I agree. Blackmail's better than intimidation.
Well, I'm just thinking that Jaldar's got a lot of enemies. Black Sun's got a lot of enemies. ISB doesn't necessarily like things. If we can get all of these people into the same location at the same time, all it's going to take is for somebody to say the wrong thing and everybody's going to shoot each other. So,
Shatterblade, he's not coming out of his tower.
well, it doesn't matter. He's going to send his troops out.
Yeah.
Shatterblade's only going to be able to shoot 1 or 2 guys, but if he puts 1,000 people in, into the streets at 1313,
well, that's what he's going to do if he doesn't get this bribe.
wow, that's a bad day for Jaldar then.
She's going to say, look, whoever this person is, we need to make sure what can we offer them? They can get us off world. You say they don't want to get along. Who is it?
I look at her and I go, Edema, the one that we've been investigating.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that she used to run some bar and it got burned down and Criff.
Now she's running 13. Now she's running 8 lives.
You really can work your way up in this business, can't you?
Wow. You work your way out real fast too. That Trandoshan was looking good about 36 hours ago.
Yeah. So you don't think that she'd be on board with there's enough here that split 4 ways, it'd still be plenty.
Got to figure out a way to Edema she doesn't necessarily strike me as somebody that is driven just purely by coin.
Well, maybe we find out what is.
Yeah, we got to figure out what it is. You know what we need to do? We need to figure out what this actual investigation is talking about. With what is she getting investigated for? If it turns out it is, some low-level slicing offenses, or it turns out that she was, a former swoop bite racer that, threw races, who knows? But what we can figure out is what they're investigating her for. Then we can figure out what that string is and then pull on that.
Okay, leave it with me.
Okay.
I'll get back on I'll get the case file. I've still got pull.
I know. Don't worry, Batty. I'm not leaving anywhere alone. I'm not exactly the loner type.
You move that bribe without me.
I'm not gonna move the bribe. Well, I'm not going to move the bribe unless I absolutely have to, because the ISB shows up and a whole bunch of AT-AT walkers or something show up. Then the bribe's gonna go. But I go, you would do the same thing.
Yeah,
but outside of that,
I feel bad about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So
but and she I think squeeze, for a moment, all that hard sort of woman pretense sort of drops for a second, and she squeezes your hand and says thanks, buddy. Thanks, Hera. We could make it out of. I think we can make me move on up out of here together.
All right, Batty, we're in it.
Let us cut over to Ettima, I think. Ettima, what stress level are you on? You're on 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Just 3.
Is there a particular scene you would like to have? Because otherwise, I was going to have someone come knocking on your door.
I think she would head back to 8 lives as long as Jaldar seems stable. Try to secure some of that mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we're talking, I think, wherever you're, you're in 8 lives, right? And it's late, and it's closing down for the night. There's nobody around. It's very empty, and you're going over stuff. Jaldar's, off doing whatever Jaldar's doing, and you've yet to get this comm from him about everything, right? And Inez, you're hearing on the door, and Inez comes slinking in. Hey, beautiful. Didn't realize you were still here.
Yeah, just trying to sort things out. Jaldar's books are a little hard to read.
Jaldar can't really, Jaldar finds it a little hard to write. I do most of that for him these days.
Ah, well, I should have checked in with you.
But I was wondering if you Have we not have the move in the basic moves? Did we get rid of the thingy? Isn't the one that's like lose yourself in the arms of another? No, that's one that Alan put in from his games. Ooh.
Yeah, I was about to say what move? Because that sounds
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, I need to add that to it. Yeah, Alan, took these from Cartel and put it in his dark hacks.
Right.
And there's one which is like lose yourself in another. And because all of the other ones are very similar, I've just been, dish a beat down, confess your sins, etc.
Right.
I just assumed it was there. I apologize. I will have to add that at some point. I was hoping to, in fact, and she pulls out, let's say, some waste it. And she says, me, Drogo, Jaldar, the little Jawa, we used to hang out. It all used to be so much simpler. I'd like things to be simpler, Etima. Want to do some waste it?
Yeah.
So roll me plus grit. Lose yourself in a substance.
All right.
Is roll with me working for you? Oh.
We'll see. I hit buttons.
There we go. Go 6. What a miss. You're in deep. May the force be with you. And I think that you guys get, wasted together, and all of your, the poise and the sort of control that Etima has is kind of caught up in the passion of the two of you, and we cut out, and the music plays as it cuts out, and you're giggling together and you're laughing, and then you like she leans her head in, and then we cut back, and then we come back into the room with Inez and Etima, sort of like tastefully together on like the long chaise longue here in the room, right? And you're passing like a destic between the two of you, and it's so weird. You're talking even though you're marked as muted on the Zoom. That's odd. I could hear you. I'm just saying that the signs are the wrong way around. It's and Etima and as that's when you get the call from Jaldar about this whole thing. And Inez, says, oh, Criff, more violence. I don't know how long I've got left here, I'm scared of Jaldar these days. Real scared.
Probably should be.
You'll protect me, won't you?
Best way for me to protect you is to get you out of here.
Yeah.
Were you born here on 1313?
No, I was born upstairs, above. And then the Empire came. And we lost everything. And so I'm down here. My whole family.
Things are changing in the galaxy,
Why do we even need Jaldar? When he came up here, I thought it was a big opportunity, but I don't know. When Amara Tavi killed you, you knew why you were being killed.
I don't find that quite as comforting as you do.
At least you knew where you were going, right? What are you going to do?
You ever thought about running this place?
8 lives?
No. All of it.
And I think we'll cut with smile and those sharp Twi'lek teeth coming out over the lips. Yeah. She's on board with that idea. And all she asks is that you, however you play this, you keep her in the loop about what's going on, what Jaldar's doing, because she's worried when she can't see him.
Yeah, I understand.
Awesome. And now let's go to Skara. And I think, you know, you've got your gang, right? You've got a bunch of like all the little things. And Sirik has managed to get together like a bunch of street thugs and blah, blah, blah. You've got maybe like, I don't know, 10, 15, that kind of, you know, equal to Rez's gang now. More, in fact, than the swoop gang. And Sirik's like looking at you and he's like, they've got all the guns and some of them are like firing them off in the air. And Tren's like, like slapping one of them out of the hand. One of those guns like just fizzles and fizzles. And then they kick it and it goes and blows a hole in the wall next to you. And then it's like, Lintel's like, you Latil, sorry, I keep saying Lintel because it's a character from another Star Wars thing. Latil is, I think we're already Skara, like, but people want to know what's going on. What's the plan?
Sorry, I lost my note. Trent, did you find a good spot?
Yeah, Trent, I found a good spot. I mean, you know, I think it'd be hard to hit them back where they gang up. It's kind of like a fortified place, but we know that they deal out of the Oscar. I was out there the other day, and that's where they're pushing.
Yeah, and that's where we're going.
And Chiric's like, right on our territory. We gotta take those Minocs out. Like,
yeah. So someone's got to ride the swoop to pull them in, and then we ambush them.
well, who do you think should ride the swoop?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Latil. I'll do that. I stole the bike, right? So they're after me.
Yeah, if you think you can handle it.
Yeah. And I think now is when you try and get your gang to follow your lead on something dangerous or costly or out of the ordinary. Roll plus hustle.
Plus hustle, and my hustle is +2. So let's see. Rolling. Oh, that's a 5.
Nice. Okay. Everyone seems like they're on board with the plan. Again, that's sitting on the hard move shelf. So yeah, they're all gonna go over to the Uskru underbelly. You know, be like sat, you know, like not together kind of thing, like around in like a nice spot. Latil's gonna lead them down like a dead end in one of the side alleyways, like where there's little bazaar stalls and stuff, and those stalls are going to be filled with your guys. And yeah, they seem to all be really, really on board with the idea. Sirik in particular is like, yeah, now's the time, we're going to do it. And Tren's like finally come around to it as he picks up one of these nice guns that you've got, and he's like, wow, stormtrooper gear, nice. Yeah.
Depends who she actually.
Cool. So, and I think that's why you don't get Jaldar's message as well in that hard move. You have no idea. There is the comm is ringing, right? But you're too busy like telling everyone, and they're cheering you on and everything, right? Yeah. So
yeah, and I think actually, I think I don't want to check in with Jaldar until this is done, so I can tell him that yeah, we put the hurt on the Hutt Cartel and took out their swoop gang, and everything's great. So.
nice. So, Ettima, what is your response going to be to Jaldar's summons?
I'll go to see him, of course.
Okay. Jaldar, lay out the plan.
Yeah, so I think that, I'm going to call everyone in. So first I called Crix as well as Skara and Ettima. So Crix, what was your comment whenever I called you and said, we've got a mutual enemy that we're going to make some noise with?
Can you narrow it down?
It is one of, it's someone from the Hutts.
Okay. How big a ruckus will this be? Is this two guys in an alley with a vibroblade, or is this
This is
guys flying jetpacks with rocket launchers?
This is
cartel cookhouse, from as far as you can tell.
Yeah, we have to get them off of our back before they come down our throat.
Okay. So what you're saying is you want to make sure that the police, Corsac at least stays away.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you plan that this is going to be?
So,
away from?
so this is going to be at the cookhouse, and we're going to see about. This isn't going to be an all-out war. This is going to be just a blow their nose and get them to back off, because we've got bigger fish to fry at this point. I mean, you and I know who's in control. We just talked about money, and we just talked about a lot of important people. Yep. So the Hutts are small fry. We just need to make sure they don't pester us.
The Hutts tend not to get subtle hints well, so I know this is counter to some of the advice I've given you before, but if you're going to punch them, finish them.
Good. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, sounds like Crix is on board with the
So I think this meeting that Jaldar calls is actually at the 8 Lives, and it's downstairs. He comes in, so this is after hours, and he comes in and sits down, and the place is kind of dark, and he starts turning on lights, and I think Ettima upstairs in her office sees the lights downstairs start to come on, and has gotten this call that Jaldar is going to meet downstairs.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I think Inez is still there.
Yeah, Inez is certainly around, and in fact, it sounds as though you're getting all of your players in the same room, right?
That's right.
It sounds to me as though Crix has accepted that he's going to run interference, but not that he's actually going to be here on the ground per se, right? Yep. So he's involved as like a player, but not in this particular scene kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, you've got Vic, you've got Inez, and you've got a bunch of your other guys, like the senior lieutenants and things.
So I think I lay this out, and am I mistaken? Didn't you say, Will, that we had intel on where a good cookhouse was that we could hit?
Yeah, Vic is like, oh yeah, it's just down there on the other side of the Warrens.
Yeah. So I think I kind of do the Star Wars thing. Instead of laying out the map, I flick a little switch, and there's like a little pop-up 3D kind of thing, and I point, and this is a janky kind of map. It's not like the pretty maps we see in the movies. This is like old and flickers and all of that. And I'm like, okay, right here, this is the cookhouse that Vic said. but I think we can do better. And I think we want to take out this and everything else. So I need someone who's going to watch the people coming in and out, and someone who's going to be able to trail them and see where we can hit next. We're not looking for the where the money goes. We're looking for where the product gets spread to, and we want to take out their whole network. Who thinks they can do that?
Inez goes, I mean, I remember what we used to do before everything, you know, before we changed. I could look up some of their old routes and make sure, you know, check in.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. You know, and I think Jaldar looks around and says, Scar is not here, is she?
No, I couldn't get in touch with her.
Well, we'll take note of that. If you get a hold of her, make sure she comes in and backs us up. It's very disappointing. And then looks around, and he looks at Etema, and he says, what do you want to do? You want to keep this place up, or are you going to come with us and get your hands dirty?
Edema gives Jaldar a long look and then smirks. Let's get our hands dirty.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And he reaches over and pulls out like a good, like, big beefy pistol and hands it to her, and it looks kind of incongruous in her hands. You know, she's a little bit more delicate, and this is a, you know, a blunt kind of weapon kind of thing. He says, that's the spirit. And he's ready to just go take a hit. He's probably going to give Inez a little bit of time. She knows where the networks are, and we're just going to try and burn all of them out, but do it with a series of hits that are one right after another.
And Inez, you know, like, I don't think it takes long for her to say that, like, if your creds went a long way, I think I have this. You know, I think we'll be ready to move as soon as you hit.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think now we cut across to Crix. You know, this bribe is expected to be delivered at some point today. You know, Batty has made it. You know, after the night and stuff in the morning, she comes back to you and she says, Edema?
Yeah.
She's some kind of her file. I think she's the one moving weapons for the rebels.
Huh. Wow.
Big money in that, I reckon.
Okay.
Could be our leverage, you know.
I agree. I hope she gets out of this alive today then.
Something going down today.
Yeah. I heard that the Trandoshan has been spotted at the cookhouse. I think we should probably call everybody in for that.
It's good. So what? You don't want to? I think maybe we should, if we want to keep our fallback plan going, we should maybe get her out of there first, right? Give her the heads up.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's go back to.
I think we need to make sure, because, you know, I know that the Coruscant guys are getting all involved in this, but I think this might be a good opportunity to kind of leak it to the Imperials, that this might be a good way for them to make themselves known and be present.
I mean, I don't know. If we go speaking to the Imperials, they're going to want that money.
Wow.
Maybe but Rex is jumping at the gun. This is exactly what you need to get in his good books. A big sting.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
I think that's going to involve one scene with Rex where you file your, you know,
Yep.
and I think that's going to be however you want to approach that kind of thing with Rex about this thing tonight, right? And now we're in this lovely position where you can see all of the players of the different plans and how they're all completely stabbing each other in the back, basically. I love it. Cool. So why don't we do, well, Stephen, Jaldar's plan, right? You've got your guys, you've got this cookhouse. I think, you know, no matter how well prepared you are and all of those things, you're going on your own, right? You're not sending your enforcers or agents to solve a problem on your behalf. You're doing it. You're getting your face right up there. Vic Munn is like, I don't think that's a good idea, boss. Like, but.
So I think I turned to Vic and I said, you know, I say, you know, you're not scared, are you, Vic? I mean, we hit the cookhouse. It's a small enough target, and we blow it all to hell. And the rest of the troops trace everyone down and burn out all the trails. Mechanically, what I was thinking was I would do turn to violence on the cookhouse, and then we would roll the big shot move about enforcers to see how well they route everything out.
I was going to go with a push your luck for this
perfect.
thing, because I keep looking at that push your luck, and I'm like, the way that Cartel actually works, you barely ever use it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's push your luck seems, you know, this is a bold strategy. It's reflecting upon the look of all of your operation going right.
Mm-hmm.
So this cookhouse, I think it is like in a what used to be, I mean, God knows how long ago. You know, this is like old Republic days. This used to be some sort of like factory. Like they built spaceships down here. That can't be right. Like this is all the way down on 1313. That would mean that at some point this was almost near the surface. Can't be that old, right? But it's now, you know, like big kind of like ramshackle warehouses in old spaces that were carved out for stuff, you know, like kind of like slums and all over, right? And there's a very.
And I think we kind of hear people muttering about like it can't be spaceships, right? It's got to be like speeders and stuff and everything like that. And Jaldar's just like, I don't give a fuck what they're building. I just want to hit it.
Oh yeah, no, this was long ago. Whatever
Yeah.
space this was long ago. Yeah, yeah. You pull out your gun like, I don't care about the history lesson. Let's go, kind of thing. And yeah, roll push your luck, I think, as we kick off this event.
So that's a +0, and I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Yep.
There is minimal resistance as your guys come straight through, right? Like it comes through and you can see Cartel guy, one of them with a gun, spins round, opens fire. You recognize him from back in the day and he goes down hard, right? He just goes crunching down and you burst through into the warehouse and it is completely and utterly empty. And then suddenly from like the ceiling above you, you know, you thought it was just the ceiling of the building, just hatches drop open. And suddenly like all the gantries around you are filled wall to wall with Cartel enforcers, all of them prepped and ready. They were waiting for you this whole time. This was a trap. And then that's when the blasters start.
You can't see me raising my hand, but I am.
Yes. No, I was definitely going to come to you as the next person involved here, Rich.
Okay,
I would like to cut away to Skara and then cut back to you if that's okay. I want to try and like keep both.
Yeah, sounds
bites.
good. I just so you know, my plan is to hit strategy. So.
Oh yes, of course. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was hoping that Jaldar's move would go badly so I could put you in that position to have it right. Skara, Uskru Underbelly, you're down that alleyway in the bazaar, right? It is busy, right? Like it's another heaving night out on the strip. This is a quieter area. You think that you could get it down. There's no security around as far as you can see. And Latil comes, you know, where are you sat when, you know, where are you in hiding?
I think that's a good question, actually. I think I'm at a spot where I can like signal to everyone else. So maybe kind of a lookout position so I can see when they're coming and just signal for everyone to be ready.
Okay, cool. So I think that you're like up on the rooftop of one of the nearby buildings, right? Like crouching
Sure.
down above the thing. You can see this swoop bike come like speeding down the thing, and then you just see like this swarm of others coming around the corner. You can just hear the jigga, 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 and like people start moving away rapidly. They know what's going on here, right? Like it's panic. And little like as she comes in, she just suddenly comes like crashing down into the alleyway. Then her speeder bike just goes like as he's been hit on the way here, and it comes crashing down into the alleyway. And this Rez comes out like swooping in, and he's like firing his gun in the air, coming down. This is loud and noisy, and yeah, that's when I guess you go like, you signal the thing, yeah.
Yeah, I try to wait as long as possible because I know these guns are not very good. I know the people holding them are not very good shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be like as close as possible before we open fire.
Yeah, you're waiting, and Tren is, and like Littell is like waiting and looking, and like she's like trying to pull herself away from the wreck of the swoop. Rez like pulls the bike to a halt, kicks her over on the floor, and shoots her. And that's when Tren yells, starts firing, right? And oh yeah, we should do we do XP in the middle of the game or not? I can't remember. Like it was an end of session thing. I don't know.
I think whenever you hit it, you hit it.
You hit it, yeah. So Scar, you can also immediately level up because you've taken your own initiative and done it, right? So and Crix, I would say that if you're not intending on giving that bribe, you can take that XP.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone do that. But yeah, Tren starts firing, right? And then Cyric jumps up as well. And he's holding two of those guns from the old ones, right? And all around the alleyway, all of you guys come up and like and one of them just explodes, sending the guy flying back into the wall, right? And yeah, it has now gone completely to hell. And Rez is like, ambush, ambush. Crix, you wanted to say something?
I would like to use one of my moves, which is in this case, Mark Stress to show up in a scene alongside Coruscant security.
I think we will get to that because I definitely think this is going to draw security's attention. But first, we'll do scout. Like at the moment, there's no security, right? Like there's no call put out quite yet. We're in the moments of. But I will definitely. So Skara, what do you do? One of your team is down. Very few of your group. It's all gone to complete shambles.
Well, we're committed now, so I start firing at the swoop gang. There's,
okay.
No choice but to lean into it.
Roll plus hustle instead of savagery, since you're in the crew. That was, by the way, the culmination of the various misses that you've acquired across the thing, right?
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, sorry, I roll with did you say hustle?
Hustle, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Maybe I can get something higher than a 5 this time. Oh, a 10.
Nice. So on a 10, well, you mark stress just for turning to violence immediately. You do have a blaster carbine, close, loud auto fire. So with auto fire, you're going to be taking out more than just one of them if you hit. What do you do on the what do you choose out of the 3 options on turn to violence?
Yeah, sorry, I need to
row 15.
Yeah, there it is. And I get to choose 3. Wow. Yeah, inflict terrible harm.
Okay.
Definitely. That's why we're here. Suffer little harm. And I think this is tough. I kind of want the collateral damage just because it's fun, so I'll resist marking stress.
Okay, well, you don't mark stress for turning to violence. Yeah, cool. You know, everything's in chaos. Like some of your lesser gang members just get immediately blown away, right? The swoop bikes rally and turn around. And that's Turek is like banging together those two guns, and then Trent kicks them out of his hand and pulls a blaster pistol into his and all three of you just start taking up your position from the rooftops, right? Like shooting. Rez turns around, like gets on his bike, tries to go, and you just cut him down as he swoops past you, right? It explodes his new speed swoop bike, and it goes spiraling and crashes into an overhead, like advertising dirigible type thing, you know, floating above. And yeah, there is now like full-on fighting going on here, but you've destroyed some of those swoop bikes. You are not paying those to the Tenwa clan. Yeah, and yeah, it is all kicking off now. That's when you can see that the heat is coming. You know, something as big as this, the heat's going to be coming down. And then we're going to cut over to in the club. Fighting is breaking out everywhere. Jaldar, I think you came in right with your group as well, actually, I imagine, right? I think you're going to need to mark a stress for that situation. As you barely duck behind a thing as the first blaster bolt comes down. And you can see this tall assassin droid that just like, there's actually like embedded itself in the ceiling and then just like unfolds like with its feet just buried into it, like dug in. And it's now firing like from upside down onto you. Atima, everything's gone to hell. What are you going to do?
Well, gosh, first, I would like to, hold on a second. Just want to check, because I was looking at the various moves. Sorry. I had an idea, then I wanted to see if I should be calculating, but that's sizing someone up. So first, I've entered a chaotic battle to use strategy and roll with savagery to try and read the field.
Okay.
That one stress you just gave me really screwed me. I mean, it's awesome. I'm not complaining, but I am complaining.
Yeah.
I'm complaining against fate. So.
Yeah, in fact, I actually just meant that for Jaldar, frankly, not for you. My opinion is that Etmer isn't in this front wave of gangs. Is kind of like out the side, you know. So you're only on one less stress than that.
Okay, I'll take it. Even I love it. Okay, here comes my strategy. Okay, that looks like an 8. So
there's nothing I could do to help you to get 2. I could just help you with 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, though. All right, on a 7 to 9, hold 1. Spin, hold 1 for 1 to kill an NPC within easy reach or close range. Protect an NPC who's in a bad spot. So I think what I'd like to do, because there's really like what NPCs. I'm hand gesturing like crazy. So
what NPCs are within easy reach or close range?
Yeah, we got Z in easy reach. What other NPCs do we have? We have an Ains.
I think that it'd take a pushing your luck maybe to make it through. Well, no, you're in the battlefield. Easy reach. I don't think Z is in easy reach. I think easy or close reach or close range are your allies, right? Because the Black Suns moved into this in a bad way, right? So everybody else, the cartel has got the high ground. We all know how that's worked in Star Wars, and the cartel guys are all within easy reach or close range. Anybody else, you would have to like work your way through the battlefield, and maybe that'd be like a push your luck to try and get through there without drawing attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. I'm still trying to recover my thing, and a thing popped up. So Inez, you said the cartel folks are easy reach, and
yeah, Inez is not with you. Inez is on her own thing.
I didn't want her, so good. Okay.
But you've got like
Sweet.
Vic Munn, you've got Jaldar, you've got Jaldar's men, you know. And I'll be honest,
Vickman.
that's about it as far as who remains from the cartel NPCs who we've named so far. They've been whittled down massively.
Sure. So it does appear to be expressly written to say NPC. So I think I'm going to have to protect Vickman. It seems like the only option I have of those who are in easy reach. Is that
It is an NPC within a bad spot, isn't it? I quite like it being a PC, frankly.
I mean, it'd be nice, but then also I don't want to kill NPC with just a single move that they, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You get in there, and Vic Munn is like scrambling back behind cover, and it's getting whittled away, and then suddenly like there's just that Rataki hand grabs onto the back of his coat, right?
Yeah. And then you tell me if you think this is fair, but I'm willing to mark a stress because I know a few NPCs with grudges against my enemies, old contacts I've worked with previously.
Mm-hmm.
Does Z have a grudge?
Z definitely has a grudge against who are your enemies? The old contacts here. I think Z has a grudge against Black Sun, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, good. So Marcus tries to have one of them join you as a bodyguard for a scene. I'm perfectly happy with just he marks that I'm here and he's going to make sure nobody takes me out.
Yeah, you grab, and then like there's a moment, right, where there's a red line, there's like the red laser, and he's just been like moving across the room, like firing like from the rooftop, right? And then there's a thud next to you guys. There's a metal clank as he just detaches from the ceiling and drops down, right?
God, it's terrifying.
And it's just like looming over the two, and Vic is like groggy from where like a blaster bolt nearly caught him, right? And he's dropped his gun, and it's all, and then like the red light just like shines across you. And then it's just as he walks away, like taking out another Black Sun enforcer. Yeah. And Vickman's like, "Oh, what happened? Where's the boss?"
Stay down. You're not any good to the boss dead right now. Let's let that blow over and wait for a moment.
Okay. Jaldar. It's all gone to shit around you, right? What do you do?
I think I'm going to keep. So I think I'm going to try and rally the troops, right? Those who are left, and I stand up and I say, we've got to get the scum out of our place. And I'm either inspiring or I'm trying to push violence to try to frighten the enemy, something along those lines.
Okay. I think it's turn to violence.
Okay. Turn to violence is with savagery. I have a 1. I rolled a 6, so that gets me a 7.
7. Choose 2.
I'm gonna inflict terrible harm. I get 2. Inflict terrible harm and suffer little harm. So I'm gonna take a stress for the violence. And I think what we see on screen is Jaldar stands up and he's got that long, fancy jacket on, and it kind of flares out behind him, and he grabs up, one of our gang members is fallen, and he grabs up this gun with one hand, and he has this other in the other hand, and he just starts firing, right? And there's a shot that comes through, and he kind of turns all fancy like, and it goes through the jacket, and he hits that guy, and then and he's just blasting along, just trying to rally everyone.
Nice. Yeah, you follow your way. You manage to like clear a path through to like a fallback point. And like your guys are like crouched down, and you take out like all the. You just carve a one-man sway through all of these things, right?
And let's actually say this fallback point is where Atima and Vic are.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. Atima and Vic stagger through, right, and then suddenly like there's this kicked-in door, and like guys just come pouring out of the building, being pursued by blaster bolts and more, right? But as you're just like going like, "Come on!" firing back, right? And I'd like to cut over to Crix. right? And this, I'm going to say, is the point beforehand where you had a chance to do whatever it was you were going to do with CSF, right? In terms of this raid that's going on, this big fight that's going on versus Scaras. How did you want to play that? And Batty, remember, offered said that if you want Etma, we should make sure she's safe. So how do you want to play this, Crix? You are muted.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the briefcase, take the chip out, and close the briefcase.
Okay.
Put the chip in my pocket. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to I'm going to reach on a Coruscant headquarters. I'm going to reach out to Prefect Rex, and I'm going to tell him that the Trandoshan killer has been spotted, and we need everybody that we possibly can to close in on him, because this is the only chance we're going to get to catch him.
And I think that Rex is going to, he's going to ask how you know this. So justify your behavior, I think. It seems the most.
I will roll to justify my behavior, but my justify my behavior is you told me to investigate this. I investigated it. I found out where he is. Mm-hmm. So let's see. So it's justify.
Well, imagine that kind of like the evidence that you have of him is like, like biological like life sign readings that you've used from the body that you've got here to like stage it somewhere else, kind of stuff, like, oh yeah, you just fool the sensor that you've got currently reading his dead body is like, oh yeah, it's actually located in this spot as opposed to where, your apartment or whatever, right?
An 8.
An 8. On an 8, they have a few questions. Mark a stress if you answer with anything other than total honesty.
I will mark a stress.
Yeah, and I guess that's his only question. His question really is that, like
I basically go through telling that it's a Trandoshan. The life signs meter never quite works for Trandoshans. You know that about Trandoshans. They're there's a reason why that they have this reputation. But what we can do is we can see him with our own eyes. He was in there.
Okay. And he says, yes, I'm reassigning Batty to be part of the squad, leaving the raid.
All right. We need, and I tell him, I go, ISB is here. This is our chance to not get this taken away from us. So we need to, we can't hold back. Send in we need back, I know sometimes you don't send backup, but we need to send everybody.
Agreed, Hera. Good work. And then ends the call. And yeah, you cut to, you just see the camera cuts to CSF, like where you've got all your other fellow officers like eating, and suddenly it's like, oh shit, and they storm off in flashing lights towards the raid. And yeah, that's what's going to be happening when we get back to that scene. Is there's going to be CSF forces showing up.
I instead of spending 1 stress, I'm going to be spending 3 stress on this. Mm-hmm. Because I want to show up before everybody else does. So I want to get there before everybody else does.
Okay, with Batty?
With Batty.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys are definitely going to be arriving on the scene before the others do. Let's cut back to Skara. It is a mess here, right? You have pretty much like the swoop bike gangs. Some of them are getting away. Others are down. Your whole thing is in complete disarray. Tren has like thrown his gun to the side and has run over, and he's grabbed Latel off the thing, and he's got her body, and he's just like holding, and he's like, no. What do you do, Skara?
Just a minor detail. Tren is female, actually.
Female. Sorry, I keep doing that. It's just because Tren to me is like, it was got in my head as like a
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, she's like like no. And then she's looking at you with like, tears running down her face, angry. What do you do, Skara? As you can hear sirens coming towards you as well.
I have tears in my face as well. I haven't noticed them myself, and just I grab her. We gotta go. We gotta go now.
Nice. Then I think sounds like you're leaving a messy crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave a messy crime scene before the authorities arrive. Roll plus heat, and yeah, people's reports coming in are of these stormtrooper class, right? These E11 blaster rifles that look remarkably similar to the call. So what's coming down now is it's an Imperial. This is a stormtrooper unit is coming in.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay. My heat is currently 1, unless it's gone up because of this.
Strangely, there's no CSF units available. Like they've had to put a call in to the Imperials to deal with this minor event
Weird.
at the thing. Yeah. So yeah, your heat is a 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So +1 then,
What did you get?
and that's a 10. Oh my God.
Oh dear. On a 10, the authorities arrive in, I didn't even need to add the Imperial Stormtroopers because the authorities arrive in force with Imperial Stormtroopers in tow, right? And yeah, you haul Tren up onto that swoop bike that Laytail stole for you, right? And you're gunning it away. The rest of you, Cyric, you see Cyric like tries to gun his own swoop bike, and it just like, as he's about to gun it, there's suddenly a and it explodes and he goes flying off it as you don't see where he goes, as suddenly like Imperial Scout swoop speeder bikes go zoom past you and then rotate like fling around, and you can just see that like Imperial Stormtroopers are suddenly like rushing straight up the thing, and there's like smaller than an ATST kind of walker that's like doof, 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 up the underbelly. This is coming in force. You're gonna have to do something to get out of here. Oh, in fact, why don't we put a pin in that and we'll cut back across to the others, I think, at this point. Yeah. You guys have gone out. The fighting is still raging. Jaldar, coat completely cut to smithereens, like kicks the door shut behind him, and you can see like a big, like the big hangar doors of the warehouse are starting to roll open, right? And a speeder is coming towards you, filled with more cartel goons. What do you guys do? In fact, I'm going to go with Ettima first because I imagine that Jaldar's in authority here. So let's see what the player who doesn't have the guy to give orders wants to do.
Yeah. Sorry.
The computer, I imagine, is stressing you, right?
Yes, the fact that we're all about to die has nothing to do with it. No. Yeah, I think I'm going to GTFO.
You're going to get the fuck out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, security is coming, right? The Hutt Cartel guys engage with the other things, right?
Yeah.
And you can see the lights coming down Jaldar as you come in. And that's when Crix Hera and his speeder show up. Crix, describe how you and Batty.
We basically open up the door. We see Ettima coming out. I go, Ettima, get in the speeder. We're getting out of here.
Yeah, don't have to ask me twice. I'm in. Dive in the back.
Are you taking Vickman with you?
No.
Are you leaving him behind there? Just maybe you were trying to recruit another friendly asset within the organization.
It's not a bad idea. I could definitely get him to do stuff. Yeah, I'm bringing with me. Thank you.
Do we have room for him?
Oh yeah, I think you have room. This is like a decent one. If you say you don't have room for him, you can kick him out.
I go, Ettima, we're here for you.
And Vic, like, what? Hey, Hera. Come on, man. Let me. Yeah. I don't. I think that's a turn to violence, and I'm gonna say that this is. Oh, is it even? You're on 4 stress. That'd be 1 stress to turn to violence.
Instead, roll. I'll size him up. Yeah, I do. I want to size him up. So
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm all like
No worries, man. There's been a disruptive session for you, you know. And I imagine you've got games to run later as well, so you need.
Of course. Yeah, I'm running recover my main hard drive to another drive and praying it works. We'll see. That's a 7.
Mm-hmm. Ask one. I mean, what's his current weakness? He's got his back turned to you.
Yeah, that's true.
And he trusts you.
God, but if I could get him on my side, that would be really hot.
If you want to, how could I get you to? If you want to size up Crix and say, how could I get you to?
Oh, well then, yeah. Do you want me to have that roll stand, or do you want me to?
Yeah,
roll
no, let
again?
that roll stand because it makes no difference who you're targeting at, right? So yeah.
How can I get you to bring Vickle on? He needs help. They're getting slaughtered.
Honestly, I don't want him along. Let's see. How could you get him along? If he was unconscious.
Okay. I'll flip my blaster to stun.
Yeah. And he crumple. I think you get in the car, right? And you just push Vic into the car, right? And then you sit down opposite him and just shoot him in the stomach with the stun thing. And you go like,
that's
argument's over, right? Yeah. And Batty is like hauls open the door. She's driving and drags you in, Ettima next to her. Crix, you getting on board?
Yeah. Yep. We're taking off as fast as we can. We know that she's a rebel. How much do we know about the rebels? Like, what do we know?
I leave that up to you.
In
the wider scheme of like what's going on, it's that, you know, the New Republic, the rebels have called themselves the New Republic, and that the Empire has been falling apart since the Emperor died.
Then we're all in the speeder. I go, close the door. Batty closes the hatch. I lean back to Ettima and I go, may the force be with you. Wink at her and I floor it.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a super turn on. Yes.
Nice. You guys go. Jaldar, you turn around to see a CSF, like a familiar looking unmarked CSF, you know, unmarked speeder. Suddenly, like, you know, there's flashing lights, right? And you're like, oh crap, the CSF's coming. I thought I told Hera about this. And that's when you see Hera's speeder racing away from the thing as more of these. And now the cartel guys are like exchanging fire with some of the CSF as well. And this assassin droid is still marching his way through. You can see that door that's been slammed shut, and it's like, doof, doof, doof. What now?
So I think Jaldar is trying to think on his feet, which he doesn't do real well. And he's like, okay, there's a lot of bad stuff going on here, and the cops are here. I just have to get out with as many people as I can.
Flee from security, I would say, is it?
Yeah, I actually have a move that I just took called Escape from the Rat Playbook.
Oh, lovely.
Which is when you try to exit a tense situation. I'm not sure that. I think since the heat's here, maybe that's different. Which do you think applies?
I think that you're trying to escape from more, and I think that this is the heat's. You know, it's the heat and the cartel, right? So
okay.
Let's go with the face one.
Okay, so I rolled boxcars.
Nice. On a 10 plus, you're gone, and you don't leave something behind. So I'm going to say you'd get the bulk of your men out, right?
Yeah, as many men as I can, as is feasible. Yeah.
Yeah. I am going to do a review of your plaza's tags and stuff, you know, and your enforcers and things, and see if any of them I think need to be corrected after the shambles of this. But you have retained some of it. You know what I mean?
I would suggest at least heat needs to go up.
Yeah, well, I'll do that in between sessions, though.
Okay.
You know, but I just to warn you in advance that I think as a consequence we should rearrange some of the tags attached to your stuff. But yeah, you order a couple of guys like pull up their thing and they go like, "We've got this, boss," you know, and they're ready, going to hold off, and you just kick open another like side door, and there's like a passageway through, and you're sprinting away from all of this, and CSF is arriving in force, taking out the cartel. But you are, I think, on the run from CSF at this point. You know, you've made it out of here with the bulk of your forces, but you guys are definitely on the run. They are hot on your trail where we leave you.
And I would suggest we're on the run, not just from CSF, but also from the from Z.
Yeah.
We see, I mean, basically, as Jaldar's running away, I see this as, you know, he drops into like some air tunnels, and him and the guys are kind of running away, and they're a little bit ahead of him, and he can hear that thudding sound coming up behind, and it's echoing all the way through these empty halls.
Yeah, nice. So, I mean, you know, I like it a lot. Cool, you're away. Skara, the Imperial Stormtroopers and all of the things have arrived. What do you do?
Well, we have this swoop bike, and that's kind of all we have. So I try to get Tren onto the swoop and just gun it.
Cool. And
just
Tren,
anywhere but here.
Yeah, and I think that you know, these speeder bikes are after you. These scout troopers chasing fast after you. This swoop bike is not meant for this, and you're about to turn up towards the portal. You know, like where you lost them before, and Tren grabs your hand and steers it down and says like, we'll never lose them up there, we gotta go down,
Yeah, I follow her lead.
Yeah, and you swoop down towards the deep underworld, the lowest levels of Coruscant, where no one else goes. Cool. Back over in Crix's speeder, did you have a place in mind that Batty was going to take you guys?
Where now that Jaldar and everybody is all mixed up right now, I want us to go get Trogo's corpse.
Oh, you could have had that in the back of the speeder if you want.
We'll have that in the back of the speeder. And what I want us to do is I want to plant Trogo's body with the briefcase.
Okay, with the briefcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, where?
I'm thinking relatively close to the ComSec station, but not too close. Not where it's immediately being observed.
And I think that Tuk Tuk is happy to do this because he's small and he's clever and he can get through it, right? And you didn't even know he was here. He pops his head out from underneath the thing, and Batty's like, he got the comms, right? He's in on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Tuk Tuk's going to do it. And Batty, he says, you watch, you know, Crix, you got to get me out of here first. So you and him are going to go plant it. Batty says, listen, we shouldn't be seen. We shouldn't get her close. She nods at Etima. Drop us off. I'll keep her safe.
Okay. I will do that, and I will look at Etima and I just look over and I go, you're probably fast on the uptake. You're getting what's going on?
Just to make sure you and me were working towards the same goal of helping out the rebellion.
Yeah. And that means that right now we got to get off 1313 where we can do the most good.
I left someone back there who we got to go back for her.
Who?
Goodness.
I'll go get her. We'll go get her, okay? We'll go get the Twi'lek, all right? We'll go get your little piece on the side, all right? This is Batty saying it.
Yeah. I know where she's hidden out. I'll go with you.
All right. And I'll grab and I go, well, what's it? I completely blanked on his name. So we still have the unconscious Vikmon, right?
You do still have the unconscious Vikmon, yeah.
Okay.
Who you know, Batty and Etima can can haul him out, and we can deal with, just narrate how Rich wants to deal with that kind of complication and see if it needs a complication.
I'll look at. I go. I'll take care. I got Vic. He's old. He's ex Corsac. I know. I'll take care of him.
Okay.
Okay.
No qualifiers on that one. I just okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's where we'll leave it with. You drop off Batty next to her speeder. She gives you the things you and Tuk Tuk drive off to make this plan to to get the CSF kind of show that it's all, you've fulfilled your end, right? Of all of this stuff. And Atma and Batty going to look for Inez. Skara racing down to the underworld to avoid her chasers. And Jaldar on the run in the wind, but still very much a presence in both CSF and the cartel's crosshairs. Everyone good at ending it there? Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't know whether we'd get to the big shootout this session or not, but I feel like there's only so much you can softly when you've got the pushing force of let's go there and shoot everybody kind of driving it, the Jaldar route. I love it. Great, so let's do, does everyone have time to do stars and wishes?
Yeah, you're still recording, just so you know.
Yeah, okay, I'll stop it now. Yeah. Bye guys. Bye to
it doesn't matter, just